Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I want to ask everybody out there, where are you watching this video from? I'd love to know. I know that in the live streams, a lot of people say that they are watching from all around the world, and I absolutely love to see that. It's incredible to see how large the XRP army really is. So let me know where you guys are watching this video from, and also hit that like button if you guys are a part of the XRP army. With that in mind, let's dive on in. So November 23rd, this article got posted. Grayscale spotlights XRP as an alternative to SWIFT for cross-border payments. Now, what's interesting about this is that we have been talking about this for a very long time, right? The idea of Ripple replacing SWIFT and XRP being utilized as the global bridge currency. A lot of people are under the impression that SWIFT has already crumbled, that the sanctions against Russia were essentially the nail in the coffin. Now, where am I on this? Well, my thought process is the fact that SWIFT doesn't really manage settlements. They don't do settlement transactions. They're not even in the clearing area of transactions. So if we're talking about SWIFT, I don't really look at Ripple as replacing SWIFT or, XRP being, a dominant global reserve currency or anything. Like, I don't look at it like that. I've outlined my thought process on Ripple and XRP and their role in the global financial system, which we will address in this video. But first and foremost, I do want to dive into this article and talk about a few things. So one, Grayscale recently spotlighted XRP as an alternative to SWIFT and cross-border payments. This is not new news, right? Like, we know that this has been the long-term thing, but everyone is always making this a much bigger deal than it really is, which we will talk about in this video. One thing that you need to know is that Ripple already won, because there's only two scenarios here. It's either SWIFT uses Ripple and XRP, or SWIFT doesn't and they get phased out. Because SWIFT has already lost a lot of market dominance. And the thing about XRP that's very attractive is the fact that SWIFT has tried to pioneer a private currency like XRP in the past, but it failed. Nobody wanted to utilize it because it was centralized. And that's why XRP is so crucial to note, especially in terms of its decentralization. Now, the report did put out another sort of aspect of it as well, which was the fact that in the absence of Ethereum and BNB, the company noted that XRP sits at the second largest asset currently tracked in the framework, only behind Bitcoin. Notably, XRP makes up 4% of the combined market capitalization of all the assets the firm currently tracks. Now, according to the report, XRP is designed as an alternative to SWIFT due to its attractive features in terms of cross-border payments. XRP aims to offer fast cross-border payments at lower transaction costs than competitors. Now, I think this idea that XRP was like specifically designed to overtake SWIFT and become this, become that, I think that is a little bit blown out of proportion. When we talk about XRP, what makes XRP so valuable, in my opinion, is the fact that it wasn't specifically designed for anything like that. XRP has very, very attractive qualities to it. One of those qualities is the fact that it is a key significant piece for the XRP ledger, where hundreds to thousands of plus use cases could thrive tapping into XRP. XRP was designed to be extremely efficient. XRP was designed to be extremely efficient to move and settle value as well. But it wasn't specifically designed to do that. It just is that efficient. But beyond this, right, I also want to dive into this post. This is from XRP Drops. Ripple Labs' main goal was and still is replace SWIFT network because its efficiency is dated, thus expensive. CTO Flash Vasil Boroviak, I hope that I'm saying that name correctly, November 2023. Now, again, as we look at Ripple, their main goal wasn't to replace SWIFT. They just knew that they would replace SWIFT if SWIFT denied the idea of tapping into Ripple at some point in time. See, this is the thing. Ripple doesn't need Swift. Swift needs Ripple. That's the thing. This narrative persists, whether through Ripple itself or others in the crypto space. And here we have Ripple Labs' main goal was and still is replace Swift network because its efficiency is dated, thus expensive. Once upon a time, Ripple reps wanted to visit the Swift conference, but were rejected access. Outrageous. Thought the blockchain innovators and started their own annual global event called Ripple Swell, which is a banking conference. I would be glad to meet whoever reads this message in Dubai from 6th through 11th November. To all the potential thieves, there will be people living in my apartment. Don't even try to break in. Now, outside of this, I also want to go back to this post. This goes all the way back to September of 2021. The original quote is pretty old. I want to say it's from 2020. I might be wrong on this. This is from XRP Crow. And here we have from David Schwartz, the CTO. My dream scenario is Swift makes a deal with Ripple where all their banks get to use RippleNet for free. Maybe even paying Swift fits our XRP strategy perfectly. Now, this would be the scenario that would be very attractive, not for Ripple, but for Swift. And why? Well, the thing is that Swift is complacent because they already have almost 11,000 banks tapped into their network. But what happens when RippleNet becomes much bigger? And it takes time, right? But we know in the last roughly almost 2 years now that Swift has lost a lot of market dominance. So would it be in their best interest to bring about a very efficient change to their network that no competitor could ever come close to? In my opinion, yes, it would. But also, Swift tapping into XRP, which is a decentralized currency, with, of course, Ripple, well, now the network is no longer US dominated and centralized, which makes it very lucrative and very attractive to anyone that wants to actually utilize it. But do we need to even think about Swift at this point? We know Swift is looking into digital assets. We know that Swift is, trying to expand. But what we are really looking at is the other connections to Swift, because it seems as though Swift has been making some undercover moves. Those are the moves that we should be looking at. Not exactly if Swift is going to tap into Ripple right now, but what are they actually planning? So let's go back in time to 2022. Ripple Archive documenting Ripple posted this. Boom. Swift is collaborating with Gemini to use crypto for cross-border payments. Gemini sees Ripple and XRP as the solution. The world will run on XRP. Now again, that's not my words. I'm just quoting what documenting Ripple is saying. We're collaborating with Gemini to explore how Swift can interlink the multiple domestic-based CBDC networks emerging worldwide to make cross-border payments with digital currencies more seamless and frictionless. Over here, Gemini World of Payments 2021 report. Companies like Ripple and its XRP protocol are already being touted as the next phase of transformation in the global remittance service market. Platforms like Ripple have the potential to reduce settlement times from days to seconds and provide savings, noted global financial services behemoth Credit Suisse. And down here you have the post from Swift, and then here is the actual article that was regarding, of course, what Gemini was saying. Beyond this, here you guys have the full report of what they were talking about with CBDCs. Here's the actual article. Gemini says nearly half the world will be using cryptocurrencies to send money in the next 2 years, a revolution by remittances. Now, in 2 years, we didn't really see that happen. And the main thing is I think that we should be more looking into regulations, right? Because this is going to take some time. But I will say this. I do think that payment growth through crypto specifically has been growing. It's not at the 45% or 50% mark that they were saying in here. But I will say this. When we look at crypto, specifically crypto-driven payments, it's next level compared to anything like Western Union or even MoneyGram. So I do think that over the course of maybe the next year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3 years, we are going to start to see a major growth in the crypto-driven payments market. And I think that this could be a very dominant growth as well. But beyond this, we also just seen this recently from November 21st. This is from Matthew Lin-Wai. Gemini collaborates with Euroclear for successful launch of digital financial market infrastructure. Can anyone confirm if XRP, XLM, Hedera, Chainlink, or any other protocols are being implemented? And here you guys have Gemini collaborates with Euroclear for successful launch of digital financial market infrastructure. And this is all through even DLT. It's all on DLT. The service enables the issuance, distribution, and settlement of fully digital international securities. Digitally native notes, DNN, on DLT. Now, this is going to be orchestrated through the DFMI platform within Euroclear's existing systems and infrastructure. And down here, well, we have Medico, the secret sauce to it all. If Medico is involved, I think we know the answer. Ripple. It was great to see so many key industry stakeholders such as Fidelity, EY, Euroclear, Citi, HSBC, BNP Paribas, Signum, National Bank of Georgia, UBS, SBI Digital Markets, etc., among with valued clients and partners, convening to tackle this critical topic alongside us. This is what I'm looking at, because we are seeing major changes happening here. And remember what Gemini said about Ripple and XRP. And remember who Gemini is collaborating with. Again, all regarding cross-border payments, digital currencies, CBDCs. I strongly believe that Ripple is far more entrenched with Swift than they are letting on. I'm not going to say that Swift is 100% using Ripple or even XRP, but I will say it wouldn't make sense for them not to. Also, from Anderson, remember this tweet that I just recently had in a video? Swift, the basics. However, the organization, Swift, does not manage accounts on behalf of individuals or financial institutions, and it does not hold funds from third parties. It also does not perform clearing or settlement functions. After a payment has been initiated, it must be settled through a payment system. Now, this is significant to mention, because as we look at this, this means that Swift will soon be tapping into third parties to streamline the clearing and or settlement functions. We also know that Swift is looking into digital currencies. Over here, we also see from XRP Drops, remember this? This is a little bit of an older video. This is from 2019. Why Swift assumes that they are the future of cross-border payments. 10,000 banks on the network. That is a resilient system, and we are innovating like crazy. Ex-CEO Swift, Gottfried, in front of Brad Garlinghouse at Paris FinTech Forum 2019, but Swift is a member-owned cooperative. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications does not perform clearing or settlement functions.
Why is Swift the future of cross-border payments?
Why is Swift the future of cross-border payments? Because, two answers. I think one is because we have 10,000 banks on the network, and that, I think, is a resilient system, correspondent banking. And the other reason is we're innovating like crazy. So the big, and I'm quite proud of that, the big innovation that we introduced 3 years ago, called GPI, Global Payments Innovation, which really takes correspondent banking into the 21st century. Essentially, we introduced a unique identifier for each payment, so you can now track your payments all the way through. We provided a set of rules for speed, and we provided transparency on the pricing. That has greatly enhanced the experience for customers. That's what it's all about. I was in China last week, no, the week before last week was Switzerland, where the Chinese banks tell me every payment we now send to the US is there within minutes. So yeah, it's nice that you have tracking, but actually now cross-border payments really has improved. The same I hear from corporates. We can now track it, it's transparent, etc. And I think the other great news is that because we already have the network, we can roll it out, make it backward compatible, etc. So we now have more than half the payments globally are on that new platform. Most of those arrive within half an hour, end-to-end, customer to customer. We've signed up about over 400 banks. All of the top 60 are on there, and we are basically looking towards general adoption in another year and a half. And then the whole of correspondent banking will be on that new platform. People will be able to track it. It will be fast, and it will be transparent. And with that, you get all the benefits of the existing model, which is bank-centric, deep liquidity, with all the controls that the banks have built around it, KYC, sanction screening, and all of the compliance controls that go with it. So I'm extremely excited about it, and I think, I do, of course, have to acknowledge the competition, which is always good. I don't think we could have done this without competition making it clear to the banks that they need to shape up their acts, so that we did jointly with them. We could also not have done it without the new technology. API for us is the big technology that made this possible, which is under the hood. And with that, I am really looking at cross-border payments and our banking community for another 100 years of resilient and good experience for customers.
So there you guys have it. And again, what does he mention? APIs. APIs are significant to mention because we know that RippleNet runs on APIs. We know that Ripple has been at the forefront of that, especially with Volante, Finastra, and many other players. At the end of the day, listen, all because Swift has those 10,000 banks does not mean that it's the future of cross-border payments. If you could save banks money and also bring about efficiencies like no other, why wouldn't they tap into it? And again, as we really kind of look at the last mile, this is what we are waiting for. And this is just recently. This is 2020. Remember, this is from 2019. And even here, we've still seen, the problems were still there, right? And this is all about revolutionizing the status quo. 1 to 2 days to settle. Still, 1 to 5 days to settle in terms of cross-border payments, because this is, again, days to settle senders pay into providers sending funds through the ACH or credit rails as a requirement. 1 to 5 days to settle. 1 to 2 days to settle at the last point. So all of this is the roadmap. And this could take up to roughly 9 days to actually fully settle. And remember, right, when you tap into blockchain is overcoming all of the limitations of the legacy systems. That means it cuts down on all of the major problems, right? It makes a complex scenario a lot more simple. The time-consuming experience is thrown out the window. You're talking, it's seconds instead of long-term transactions. And then costs are significantly lower. Trapped capital is no longer a thing. Transparency is like no other. Everything happens in real time. And this is very, very exciting. And remember, when we look into what's happening, we're already starting to see significant changes. One of those changes is what India has been doing. India has been at the forefront of this, especially even with UPI, which we've talked about a little bit. This is all through APIs, by the way. And again, the APIs is the big thing to focus on. I've talked about APIs being a major solution, but they go in depth on this, right? And they show us all of the major markets that could benefit greatly from this, and the major markets that are already tapping in to digital assets and utilizing digital assets even to source liquidity. And Argentina is one of them, actually, which again is one that's making a lot of changes right now, which we will be talking about in a later video. But at the end of the day, this is what gets me very excited about the future. And there is nothing that Swift can do. There's nothing that Swift can do, because this is the one image that I have looked at probably 1 million times since investing into XRP. This is what we are really kind of investing into XRP for. is the efficiencies behind it, what it unlocks. I don't care about what Ripple does with XRP currently, simply because I know that there's tremendous value in the ledger. But when Ripple starts to combine XRP for major transactions, and when we start to see tapping into XRP through the institutional side, along with what the retail sector is doing on the XRP ledger, and even institutional exposure to the ledger as well through a lot of those use cases, now you have a very valuable XRP. And it's all because of this image here. It's what you can unlock with XRP. And Ripple, through its API, tapping into XRP, you are seeing a 42 to 60% drop in fees. Remember, Ripple's not trying to replace the US dollar. Ripple's not trying to replace Swift. But at the end of the day, they will probably end up doing so. Meaning they will probably replace Swift. They're not trying to replace the US dollar, and I don't think that they're going to replace the US dollar. But I do think that they will replace Swift, unless Swift taps into it. This is why I say what we have in front of us right now is something very special. This is also why you have major leaders on the board of directors. This is also why you are starting to see a lot of major banking financial giants jumping in bed with Ripple. It's because of what they have to offer here. This is not going to be seen with Swift, no matter what they do. They still need something that can settle those transactions, that is going to bring about those major significant efficiencies and changes that are 100% crucial for this new digital age. And that's why I say, I think that we're already starting to see major connections being taken here, especially with Gemini. I think that this is one to definitely watch for. Remember, it's all about DLT, and it's all about the connections, right? The significant connections, and a lot of them come right back to Ripple. I'm not going to say for certain that Swift is using Ripple or anything like that, because we don't have 100% confirmation on that. But I will say this. And I say, I always like to say this overall scenario. If we see Ripple replace Swift in the future, imagine where XRP is in that picture. That's not why I invested into XRP. You know, that's not the main reason why I invested into XRP at all. But I do think that that is a scenario that could happen unless Swift does tap into Ripple with XRP, because they need us more than we need them. The dream scenario would obviously be Swift tapping into it. We know that Swift has been going and working with some significant players like even Chainlink. We know that's a big thing. We know that Swift has nonstop been talking about, digital assets, DLT, blockchain, things like that. They are also heavily focused on removing those frictions in cross-border payments. And the challenges that are here as well. Again, a lot of people bring up the idea of XRP. Listen, we already know what the dominant force is, and we already know the players that have been meeting with all of those elite organizations. Everything that we have seen in just the last month from Swift has been talking about jumping into the digital asset space, jumping into DLT, blockchain-based technologies, even cross-border payments. And here's one that they highlighted just recently where they quoted the G20's FSB and the importance of the work on this roadmap to achieving faster, cheaper, and more transparent and inclusive cross-border payments. Again, the FSB is instructed by the G20. The FSB is directly connected back to Ripple. I've done the research on that. I've connected the dots there. To me personally, there's no doubt in my mind that Ripple is going to be moving a significant amount of money within the cross-border payment sector. They don't need to move all of the money, just a certain percentage. And trust me when I say this, the network and XRP, we won't have to worry about it anymore. And that's what we're waiting for, is utility. But remember, these things take time. We're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars. We're talking about trillions of dollars that are settled every single day. So imagine the work that needs to be put in in order for those things to actually change. It's going to take time, but trust me when I say it, it's going to pay off. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.